We're 3 days removed from the Super Bowl, and people are still talking about the halftime show. And there are now little sub-debates going on. First, there was Kendrick Lamar, and there were some that just didn't quite get it, and felt like it wasn't the spectacular performance that we normally see at the halftime shows, and people didn't realize it was more performance art, and there was a lot of messages in there. And then the sub-drama here has to do with Serena Williams at the very end of the Kendrick Lamar performance.
So for those that don't know the history, Serena Williams dated Drake back in 2011, I believe. So when Kendrick Lamar performed his diss track about Drake during the Super Bowl, it was fitting, but it was also surprising to see Serena Williams on stage dancing. And she was doing a particular dance mode that I think Drake made fun of her for doing before, too. I think so. It was like a double jab.
It's crip walk, but it was more than Drake made. Drake didn't really make fun of her for the dance. It was more like the media make fun of her for the dance.
Okay.
Drake was just taking shots at her for being his ex, and he's not really over it, it appears.
I also think she got fined for doing that specific move after she beat Maria Sharapova at the Olympics. So it was also kind of like a big FU to the media and to tennis, who didn't want her to be the face of tennis. They wanted someone like Maria Sharapova, wink, wink, instead of Serena, because, you know, she's doing a crip walk, which, like Uncle Samuel Jackson said in the Super Bowl halftime performance, like, don't be too ghetto. And the crip walk, I think, was not what the tennis officials wanted to be the face of the organization.
They considered it ghetto.
Because it's an ex, and because it's Drake, and he's taking so many shots at her, there's no chance my lady, married or not, is getting back with that guy. And if she could somehow stick it to him in a very big way, the Super Bowl, this is not bothering me, not one bit.
Okay, so that's my question, and that's why I thought this was worthy of a debate. Because even if we reverse roles, if my husband got offered to perform at the Super Bowl, right, or got asked to perform on stage as, you know, to get back at an ex, I'd be like, no.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
So for me, it was kind of two-party, right? Because if you talk about her going up there to do it to get back at the media, then I feel like there's nothing you can say.
Absolutely.
I completely understand it. I'm glad she did it, and I got the whole vibe of it. But what Stephen A is saying, I understand. Because if that part is not there, and you just have an opportunity to go on a stage and get back directly to get back at your ex, and you're married, I would want you to turn that down.
So because
I wouldn't take that opportunity.
Because it's still somewhere in your heart, in your head, like you're still bothered by it, even though it was in your past. Like it shouldn't be there at all. Like if you're offered that, you don't even care. So I'm not going to take it.
Shouldn't even be top of mind. Like, why are you even thinking about this person? I had a friend who went to a wedding once with his wife at the time, and his ex-girlfriend was also at the same wedding because they knew the same people. And he went up there and he had an opportunity to not mention it at all, but he told a little joke and took a jab at his ex-wife, and his current wife felt the way. Because why did you use this moment to say something about her or to go back to her when you're here with me? Like, the moment should be about us.
So you don't know what really happened between Drake and Serena, right? We just know that he's kind of been ripping on her and taking her shots for years. But within that relationship, you don't know how bad it was. So nobody hates your ex more than your current when they tell you stories about how somebody else treated you so badly. So if the stories were bad, right, and she goes to her husband, and this guy hates her through proxy, or hates him, I should say, Drake, through proxy, then all right, you do that. He did that to you back in the day, even though I wasn't part of the picture. Go get him.
I guess I feel like for me, it's not. I think some people take it as an insecure thing. Like, you think that she still likes him or she still wants to be with him. For me, it's none of that. I don't even want you to hate your ex, because hate takes energy. I want you to feel indifferent about your ex, to where it's not even a thing. It don't even come up. That's how I would want my marriage.
I don't know that many have that maturity level.
I think we're glazing over the fact that this was at the Super Bowl, though. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't some petty, like, jab on social media to get back at your ex. You have the opportunity to be a part of what Kendrick said is going to be a revolution televised on screen. You get to A, get back at the media, B, you get to be back at your ex, get back at your ex, and C, you get to be a part of a pop culture moment that's so much more than just being like, screw you, Drake, didn't like the way you treated me.
See, that's because it's the Super Bowl, I feel like it gets a pass. But if it was anything else, I think out of respect for your spouse, you would you would politely decline.
Now, is it different if you're single? Because another thing that's really gotten some media attention is the fact that Travis Kelce's ex was also at the Super Bowl and was making a little bit of a show of showcasing that she was pretty happy that the Eagles won. She had some confetti. She was blowing it at the camera. And a lot of people are defending her, saying, well, she's a sports journalist. She has every right to be there and celebrate for the team. But a lot of people are saying, okay, but how can you not see how this is going to be perceived by other people when your ex just lost?
If I'm Travis Kelce, I'm like Mo was saying, I've got nothing in my heart left for her. So anything that she can do, she's so sort of quote unquote beneath my level of celebrity that she's just a roach, right? And Serena is so big that it makes a very different statement to me.
I see, and I guess I felt like the same way Travis Kelce, to me, owes it to Taylor Swift to not even give that energy. Like, I'm with Taylor Swift now. I'm not even concerned. I feel like, and especially because of who Serena Williams is. I mean, we talking about one of the greatest athletes of all time. That to me was low hanging fruit for her to go out there and crip walk to get back at Drake. But to get back at the media, yes, Drake, nah, I wouldn't have wanted that.
You know, I do think, just for a second here, I do think there's going to be a point where we're at a saturation point with Kendrick Lamar beating up Drake. And at some point, you got to be like, okay, we get it, it's over.
They're not there yet.
When is that over?
I think that was a part of why Kendrick put Game Over in the crowd. I think it was one for the show and two for the Drake beef. Like, we're done here. But I just don't think other people are done dragging Drake.
Yeah, right.
The Bert Show.